Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 96th episode of the Trading Without Borders podcast with Omobi, your host. Apologies, I did not release any episode last week. This was due to unforeseen circumstances, but we are back now. Before we move into today's discussion, I would like to wish all the leap year celebrants, the February 29th celebrants, a happy birthday. I'm sure you must be excited. I wonder how that feels having to wait every 4 years to celebrate on your exact day and not 28th of February or 1st of March. I wish you all a happy birthday and an amazing celebration wherever you are in the world. But before we continue discussions on the free movement protocol, I have two updates to share. So the first one, congratulations to His Excellency Wamkele Mene, who was recently reappointed by the African Union for another 4-year tenure as the Secretary General of the AFCFTA Secretariat. That's a well-deserved reappointment. He has performed well so far. So congratulations to H.E. Wamkele Mene. Then the second one, I have good news. I have an exciting news for women exporters in developing countries and least developed countries. The WTO, that's the World Trade Organization, and the International Trade Center launched a $50 million global fund that's to support women exporters in digital trade, to help them to adopt digital technologies in their business and expand the online presence of their business. That's an amazing initiative from the WTO and ITC. And so it's the applications for the fund will open in the second quarter of this year. So watch out for that. I will also share that as soon as that information is out. So women experts, it's time. Yes, I know most times women funding is one of the challenges that women face, women that are running their businesses, and also this is to help to support them in their businesses. So let's watch out for that. Okay, I will move on to today's discussion on free movement protocol. In the 95th episode, I spoke about one passport. That's the African passport. I also spoke about rights of researchers and students, the free movement within free movement of students and researchers and all. So today I'll just quickly move into Article 16 and 17 of the Protocol on Free Movement. For the first time listeners, you may want to listen to previous episodes. I started discussions on Free Movement Protocol and the African Visa Openness Index some few episodes back. So we are looking at that. Yes, even though the protocol has been adopted, it's not been implemented yet by the African countries. So we're just looking at what the protocol is about, what does it provide for, what are the provisions really. So we are looking at two of them today, right of residence and right of establishment. So under Article 16, that's the right of residence. It allows nationals of a member state to have right of residence in the territory of another member state. That's subject to the laws of the host state. So let's use two African countries, that Kenya and Ghana. So if a Kenyan national wants to move to Ghana, so he has a right to do that, but subject to the laws of Ghana. So if it also provides that national, so that means that Kenyan national can move into Ghana with accompanied by his spouse and dependents. So he's also allowed to do that. And Ghana also has the right to gradually implement favorable policies and laws on residence for nationals of other member states. So I've just used Ghana and Kenya as an example here. So this applies to all the member states. So let's look at right of establishment. So under the right of establishment, nationals of a member state have the right to establish within the territory of another member state in accordance with the laws and policies of the host member state. So we'll continue with our Kenyan and Ghana example. So if the Kenyan national wants to establish in Ghana, he has a right to do that, but subject to the laws of Ghana. So he has the right to establish also includes the right to set up a business, trade, profession, or vocation in Ghana, or and economic activity as a self-employed person. He has a right to set up his business, do all vocation and self-employed business or whatever, but subject to the laws and policies of Ghana. So that is where I'll stop here. Let's quickly have a look at the visa openness index. We are looking at 3 principal indicators that is used to measure before we wrap up for today. So there are 3 principal indicators that have been used to measure visa openness in Africa. So this report is for 2023. The first report was published in 2016. So the one I'm looking at now is for 2023. So the first indicator, it's a visa-free travel, which is called the gold standard of visa openness. So in 28% of country-to-country travel scenario within Africa, so Africans do not need a visa to cross the border. It's been stated in the report that this is a marked improvement since 2016, when visa-free entry was only present in 20% of scenario. And this is also stated to have achieved its highest results ever. That's for where no visa of any kind is required. Then we look at the second indicator, which refers to visa on arrival. So the first indicator, remember, visa-free travel. The second one is visas on arrival. So in 2016, African travelers could obtain a visa on arrival in 25% of travel scenarios. But today, that's as at 2023, the figure was 26%. But of course, it's stated that the apparent stagnancy of the result is misleading. So some countries moved from requiring a visa to offering a visa on arrival, and this caused the incidence of visa on arrival regimes to rise. Then other countries moved from visa on arrival to visa-free regime, and this caused the incidence to fall. So in both cases, the evolution is travel for Africans. That's according to the report. And finally, the third indicator, that's the one that requires Africans to obtain a visa before traveling. So just like the second indicator, the metric for this one also has improved since 2016, and this one affects 46% of country-to-country travel scenarios as of 2023, down from 55%, which was some 8 years back. And so in many scenarios than 2016, Africans have access to an e-visa, but the e-visa does not replace visa-free travel. It, however, reduces the burden of travel nonetheless. So this is where we're stopping for today. And as usual, the podcast is for educational purposes only. If you need tailored advice or expert advice in respect of accessing other African countries, expanding your business operations in other African countries, opportunities in respect of trade and investment in African countries, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm Omobola Adekola. And until next week, I say to you, bye-bye.